So let me get comfortable with the name of our vlog. Are we going to call it a vlog? It is a vlog. This is our vlog. What's the name of it now?
Getting comfortable with chaos.
Getting comfortable with chaos. Is that the best way to say it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Let's call it that. All right. Hey, friends. This is me, Glenn Setchfield. I'm a sales, marketing, business development strategist, also a blue belt, and I received my blue belt from the Valente brothers. My teacher, my professor, is Calvin Carter, right here. He has studied for years under the Valente brothers.
Under the Valente brothers. Total amount of time, probably about 25 years of training martial arts.
25 years.
25 years.
Wow.
Yes.
And, you know, part of the reason why we're matched up together on this vlog of ours is because we just feel like there's a lot of connections between jiu-jitsu, life, marketing, business. So we have a lot of audiences for our podcast or our vlog. And we just wanted to talk today first about character. And, you know, I think that character is built in a lot of different ways. But for me, the strongest way that character is built is by making mistakes. And you got to get out there and live life and experience things to make those mistakes. You got to be active. But I'm telling you, I don't know, I told you the other day, Calvin, that I was watching, I remember the Rambo movie, the first Rambo movie with Sylvester Stallone. And there's a scene when he jumps off a cliff and lands in a tree and hits every single branch on the way down, and then hits the ground. That's kind of how my life has been. And I don't know, you know, you're pretty controlled and everything, you know, it's like you're very calm and cool, and you're black belt, very knowledgeable. I can't imagine you've ever made any mistakes.
I hit a lot of rocks on the way down.
You hit a lot of rocks.
I hit a lot of rocks. I bumped my head a lot to get to that point. But at the end of the day, it was all worth it. You know, and at the time when you're going through all this adversity and all this chaos going on around you, you don't see the outcome. And, you know, we're so stuck in the moment of this is so bad. How did I get here? That we're not even thinking about taking advantage of whatever situation that we're going through to improve ourselves, to improve our quality of life. And I think that has been my biggest asset to becoming a very calm and relaxed individual. I don't get shaken too much. I don't get uncomfortable too much. And you've been around me enough to kind of see that. It's because I've been through so much. And looking back at it, I'm grateful for all of those things, because if I had things comfortable for me, I wouldn't have the character that I have today. I can guarantee that.
That's interesting to say, comfort, you know, because actually I've been feeling like I went through a period of maybe too much comfort just recently. And I had something happen to me where lost a position with an organization, and that's fine. But actually, it's great, because ultimately it's reminding me of the fact that I need to be less comfortable, that I need to be testing myself more. I need to push myself into uncomfortable places.
Right.
And then get comfortable to bring myself to the next level.
Right. And so what you find out when you're going through these adversities and being uncomfortable with your situation is you don't realize how strong you are until you're put in the fire, you know, and until you're pressed. And when you put into adversity and you put in the fire, and at first it's fearful, but you find another self that you didn't know existed. And that was the one thing that I realized, and I've gone through some adversity too, like yourself, and I didn't know that I was as strong as I was, you know, because I got comfortable with my situation, you know, and once I did go through some hard times and some adversity, I was amazed when I got out of that situation at how strong I was, you know, and that made me even more grateful, and it toughened me up, so to speak. You know, when things get a little busy around me and things get out of hand, with all the adversity that I've gone through and the highs and lows, I don't get shaken very often. I don't get uncomfortable to where I come home mad and doing stuff, or I have to go drinking or do something like that that's harmful, you know.
No, that's good. So yeah, so you're not going to some dramatic extreme that's hard to come back from.
Absolutely not. And that's part of awareness. Um, I think of having a bad day, so to speak, as people come home every day and say, "Oh, I had a bad day." I would rather say I had a character building day. You know, my day was rough, it was pretty tough, but it built my character. I didn't yell at this person, or when I was, you know, when something didn't go my way, I didn't drop my shoulders. You know, I stayed firm, you know, stayed confident, and made it through the situation. So it's not a bad day, it's a character building day.
You feel like that's another way to say that too might be offering you some level of proactivity, like instead of responding negatively and saying I had a negative day, I had a tough day, I had a hard day.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying I had a character building day. That seems like a more proactive
It is.
response
And
as opposed to reactive.
absolutely, and it's part of our jiu-jitsu philosophy. You know, if you're here now, you see our jiu-jitsu philosophy here, and it says one of the 5 keys of health is having a positive attitude. Well, if you have a positive attitude when you're going through chaotic situations and you're not letting yourself get too down, it's easier to stay level. You never want to get too low. You don't want to get too high. You want to stay even, you know, and that helps. Because if you get too high, like you said, you get too comfortable, then things don't go your way. Then that slide down is a rough, like Rambo. Boom, 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 boom. You know,
Yeah,
you're going to hit a lot of rocks
Yeah,
on the way down.
yeah.
But if you're kind of level headed, you're not too high and not too low, then, you know, maybe it's a little easier to manage those situations. So, you know, I don't get too high, and people say, "Oh, that's something great happened." I'm not going to jump and rah, you know. I like sports, but I never do this rah, yes, get them. If my team's winning, is doing great, you know, it's good.
But on the opposite side, and people have joked about this with Calvin. If your car blew up in the parking lot right now, you'd probably continue this vlog, finish it,
I'm sure I
and
will.
you wouldn't be worried about it. In the marketing world, when you're wanting to get a message out there, if you want to be successful, you have to first understand, well, what's your why?
Okay.
What is
Right.
your why? How do you stay focused on what is your why?
Benevolence, and that's huge, because as I've gotten older, I had this conversation with a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago, when Guy Valente was here doing a seminar in jiu-jitsu, and we were talking about jiu-jitsu and how I've changed through the years of how I teach and how I look at martial arts. And I said, you know, before, he's like, "Oh, you had a tough school. There was so much fighting going on, and everybody was getting hurt." I said, you know, I did jiu-jitsu back then for me. Anybody who else was there, they just happened to be a part of something that I was working on just for me. If you came there, at the time I wanted to fight. I wanted to be as tough as I can. So some people would come, it was too tough, they would leave. You know, people who probably needed it more than the people who were there. And jiu-jitsu at that time in my life was a selfish thing. If you were tough, come with me, let's fight, let's train. If you weren't, and you're a student who came there to learn to defend yourself, I'd probably put you on the back row, you know. Now, I look at helping everybody that comes into the school. Doesn't matter if it's a child, woman, or adult. I put myself on the back burner because I want to help so many people to achieve the blue belts, fitness goals, mental health, and that has given me more satisfaction now to be able to help others. And I think in a business sense that the more you promote being helpful to someone, giving them a service, an honest service that's dedicated to helping other people genuinely, I think that improves the brand of the business.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, I think absolutely for the business, say for example, the sales funnel has changed to where it's not just about getting customers in and spitting them back out.
Yeah.
You know, it's more about attracting people, engaging them, and then delighting them, right? So I think whether we're talking about business or you just being an individual, you know, let's take it back to the individual sense. I think you just want to delight people. You want to help people. I mean,
Yes.
we're going to be a better society
Right.
as a whole if we're
More
helping
helpful.
people in that way.
Yeah.
So actually, that flywheel that I just described, attracting, engaging, delighting, we do that with one another all the time, right?
Absolutely.
Or we try.
Right.
I didn't used to so much when I was younger, when I was foolish, making mistakes, learning. Now, as I get older, I try to be a little bit more respectful, and more benevolent.
Right,
as you say.
but it's a process, and you cannot skip the process. Unfortunately, I mean, I wish every day that I had this balance in my life mentally at 25 years old, but that's not realistic. I had to go through some chaotic situations to get comfortable with myself, to be secure, with myself, to not worry. This person thinks this person thinks that, this person doesn't agree with your system. There were so many nights I used to lose sleep worrying about people that I didn't even know would think. And I think confidence really helps, but we can't skip the process. We got to go through those things, unfortunately. We have to.
I still ruminate and think and worry because I think perfectionists tend to be that way, or if you're wanting to achieve some level of success anywhere in your life, you tend to ruminate on those situations that are going to that can potentially make you successful. You have an important meeting, you've got you're seeing a friend you haven't seen in a long time, you're wondering if you're still going to connect or whatever it is. It's like that there can be a high level of stress that can even undermine you. Just that stress, and if you can eliminate or reduce that stress level earlier in your life, I think it would be really helpful.
Very helpful, because I even though I've been in martial arts for 25 years, I got to a point in my mid-20s where I wanted to see if there was something else, and I became a businessman. I started several businesses. I felt that I was financially balanced at the time, but I was miserable. I could feel, like we had a conversation earlier, I was unequally yoked with, here I am, a true martial artist. I studied martial arts, not because I saw Royce Gracie in the ring. Yes, did that drive me towards jiu-jitsu, but I was already studying martial arts before that, and I got to a point and said, let me try something else. Let me start a business. Then let me start another business. Let me start focusing on just material things and not what I'm in love with, not with my passion. Miserable. Absolutely miserable.
Chasing a paycheck?
Miserable. I went almost in a depression state of depression. And if the person was to look around me from the outside, I had the perfect situation. Everything looked great to outsiders. But on the inside, I was just being torn apart because I wasn't happy.
Yeah.
And I just made a decision to chase my love and my passion and my dreams. And that cost me a price, of course, because everything does. But looking back on the adversity that I had to go through to get to this point on this mat today, I do it all over again.
Yeah, well, no, yeah. What you're doing here, has helped me in so many ways. So
Absolutely.
I, for one, would like to thank you for that. I know
You're
there's
welcome.
many others who would like to do the
You're
same.
welcome.
But
I think everybody's been given a talent, no matter what it is, and they might not recognize it, but um, no matter who you meet, everyone has a skill set, whether it's being good at speech, whether it's advertising, whether it's martial arts, no matter what it is. And I think so many people are in fear of the chaos that's going to come with, ah, I'm going to go teach martial arts. Um, the outside world is going to be, you're crazy, you know. Go here, oil and gas. Houston, there's oil and gas everywhere. Go do this, and it's going to come with chaos to pursue your dreams. And I've seen some very talented people who can't get past the fear of going through the chaos that had the ability to live their life as they chose to, using their gift. And I just look, I try and talk to them. Hey, you have a gift. Yeah, but I need this paycheck. Oh, that's fine. But you have a gift that's going to give to someone else, give to other people, and also create, at some point, gain in your life, whether it's financial or whatever it may be. But, like the topic that we have, getting comfortable with chaos, if you can't get comfortable with failure, you're not going to be able to share your gift, because anybody that has a gift is going to have a struggle at some point. They are. There's no such thing as I'm gifted at this and I'm just going to directly go into having this perfect situation where I'm helpful here, helpful there. No, it's impossible. You have to go through some trials.
absolutely. Well, you know what? We were practicing today on striking, and I think for me, like, kind of resonates through this topic. I was getting hit. Well, he was teaching me, so I was the one getting pommeled, and plus he's a black belt, so I had no chance. But it does make things quite different. You look at things in a different way, and it brings a new dimension to things. And if you're too afraid to deal with that, getting punched in the face, you're not going to be successful. No matter what.
No.
In life,
Mm-hmm.
in business, relationships, whatever.
And that's how jiu-jitsu transforms individuals. That's how jiu-jitsu, you can use these principles in real life situations. You're seeing more successful people start doing jiu-jitsu because of that. They're not trying to go out and be fighters, but they want to get uncomfortable because they know it's going to help them in the real world. And jiu-jitsu is something you can't cheat the process. You're going to get uncomfortable. And how you accept that is how you progress or you quit.
Yeah.
If it's uncomfortable and it's too much uncomfortable, I don't like it. Okay, I can go do yoga. There's other things to do. But I think jiu-jitsu's biggest asset to people is getting them comfortable with chaos.
It is, man. Well, it gets back to character, I mean, what kind of character do you want to have? Do you want to be that person that shrinks away from being the person that you can be, having the company that you want to have, whatever it might be? What kind of a person do you want to be? Do you want to be successful, or do you not want to be successful? And a lot of people, when they say the word success, they think Tony Robbins, they think financial success. Actually, he's not even talking about just financial success. It's more spiritual.
It is.
And I think that's what we're talking about.
Exactly right. And I used to, when I was in the business world, it seemed like everybody around me had been given a handbook. And I didn't get the book. And I'm like, there's got to be a key ingredient. If I do this, this, and this, and this, then I'll be a successful businessman, or I'll be successful in whatever I do. It didn't work that way.
No.
So I spent years just studying success. And what I discovered is what you just said, using Tony Robbins. Success is not about wealth, material things. Success is more so about your mental health, the company that you keep, the people you keep in your circle, and memories that you make, And through all the studying I did to figure this out, you know, it was actually pretty simple.
Yeah. You're writing your own book right now,
Yeah,
right?
pretty much.
And I appreciate you sharing that with us today. And we're going to continue to share these ideas. You know, I think we want to share a lot of different ideas on various topics and through the lens of jujitsu. Hopefully, you find it interesting, helpful. I've found jujitsu to be really helpful for me. It's changed my life. I know it's changed yours.
Absolutely.
You know, so again, thank you very much. Thank you for listening, and we appreciate your time. And hopefully, we help you to control the chaos. Hopefully, we help you to what's our
Get comfortable with chaos.
hopefully we help you get comfortable with chaos. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We're out.